Do you know your body actually has the full capacity to heal itself from the gut issues, heart attack, all kinds of diseases? If you have pain in your hips, if you have pain like in your arms, in your joints, you can heal that. And the way is to find the source that triggers whatever disease or problems that you have. So you need to do a memory recall. Like at that stage, like what was happening around you, especially if it has something to do with the relationships around you, the people around you. That's usually the trigger. Or it can even be like, you know, things are happening in your life that is kind of like a major turning point and it's a lot of stress for you to handle. So if you find that source and you do a memory recall, you start to resolve all the emotions behind that event or that relationship, and you are able to heal yourself. But this process sounds so easy, but it's very hard to do in a practical way. And usually you need to do it like at the early stage when you had that kind of disease, when you have that symptoms showing. For example, if your heart feels a lot of pain or your joints feels a lot of pain, you need to be super aware of your health condition. And awareness changes everything. Awareness is always the key to like learning about yourself, like healing yourself. And I know people are so sick of like hearing about, oh, healing, oh, this and oh, energy, that. But it works. Like I'll tell you my personal story, which I will tell you like in like longer forms, of course, in the future. I had an appendicitis back to like 15 years ago when I was a teenager, and when I was like 16, 17. I was triggered by my own childhood trauma and the people around me, which is my mom and like my stepdad and all the drama that's going with them. And I got a severe appendicitis, and usually you get that in the surgery room and 3 days later you're good to go, right? But I hold it in for 4 weeks. Okay, most people wouldn't believe this. I hold that in for 4 weeks. I couldn't even walk straight. I couldn't even like stand straight and walk straight. I literally bent over, and I'm bent over walking. And the reason why I didn't get into the hospital when it first started is because, you know, my own family was saying, oh, that costs so much money. You know, like, why are you sick? You shouldn't be sick. You're costing me too much money to do this. Yeah, that came out of my own mother's mouth. Her exact words at the time was, why are you sick? You shouldn't be sick. You're costing me too much money. You should be marrying a rich old man to pay for your own medical bills. Mind you, I was only fucking 15, 16 years old, you know? Because she is like, I don't blame her, honestly. I forgive her, but I wouldn't forget that that's humanity. That's part of humanity. And that's her lesson to learn in life. But because she didn't resolve that, she actually impacts me. So therefore, you know, the possibility of me getting sick and getting any disease just went higher because I'm her direct source of, you know, emotionality, of like leashing all of her negativity on me. So me as a child, I absorbed that ever since when I was like a baby, a newborn. That's why I said I forgive, but I don't forget. And I feel madness as I'm talking about this. I don't easily share my story, but now it has been coming to a point where I think it's necessary to share my story. So that is why I didn't go into the hospital in time. And actually, instead of resolving this in 3 days, I endured that appendicitis for 4 weeks. You know how much is 4 weeks? Like, everybody who ever had appendicitis know what kind of pain that is. I did that for 4 weeks. You know, I was at a school away from my family. What would you call that? The place where you send your kids to school and you never see them again. A boarding school. Yes, I was at a female boarding school. Thank God I had my best friend at the time, and she actually offered to pay for my medical bills. Can you believe that? Like, she's only like 16, the same age as me. And she's using the money she saved to help me and pay for that, a couple $100 in China, which this is the friends that you need in life, I'm telling you. Anyways, so they put me on all kinds of antibiotics. It doesn't work because I still have that pain. And eventually, the school sent me back to home. And my own mother is still telling me, like, why are you costing me so much money? Like, why don't you yourself, like, marrying a rich man, and give me all kinds of bullshit to a 15, 16-year-old teenager. Can you believe that? Yeah. So, now I have to go to a hospital or I will literally... So then she finally agrees to send me to the hospital. Okay, this is like a fucking crazy story, but I have to tell you. So I went into the hospital. They hospitalized me. They don't allow me to eat or drink for 7 days for a simple appendicitis. And the doctors were like, oh, we don't know what kind of thing you have. Like, we have to like make sure. So, and they're like, oh, you have to take this super expensive IV bag and inject it. So my hand was swollen like pork hocks. I'm not even joking. That is what I went through. Because they want to sell you on that. That IV bag, you know how much it is? It is 2,000 in Chinese yuan, which is like 500 Canadian dollars a bag. I still have the picture. Let me show you the picture. I was in the hospital, hospitalized. Like, this is based on true story, guys. So they can make more money off of you. This is 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And do you think it's going to get any better? I don't think so. So eventually, when they finally decide to do the surgery, which they first hospitalized me for 7 days, right? And then they sent me back home to tell me, oh, you have to wait for 2 months to do the surgery. And 2 months later, I was hospitalized again. I go through all kinds of like shit, my God. Because in order to do the surgery, you have to like clean your gut, right? So they put you on one of those like drinking laxatives. My God, it was a nightmare. It's funny, but it's a nightmare. Now I think about it, I just want to laugh. It's a funny story, guys. Don't pity me. Anyway, yeah. When they go into the surgery room and then they cut me open, they found that is the healthiest appendix they have ever seen. In case you don't know what appendix is, it is one of your immune system organs, one of your most important immune system organs. And the reason being why I got that sick was because I was so traumatized by my own mother, right? That's why my immune system is attacked energetically and physically. But I wasn't in the health industry by then. And mind you, I already started working out. When I was 15, 16, I started very early. I was so healthy. But how come such a healthy person who eats right, eat and drink a lot of water, a lot of vegetables, a lot of proteins, I don't even eat junk food, and I got sick. I work out like 5 times a day. How come that I got sick? You think that is by accident? No. So I want you guys to be aware of this. This is exactly why I am sharing this message. This is exactly why I do what I do. I do tarot readings to help people to be aware, to awake, and to save yourselves. So you have the tools to save yourselves, right? It's like a therapy. It's like a guidance, like for free. Guys, for free, go check out. Anyhow, yeah. But since they already open my gut, and mind you, that surgery cost me like $5,000. $5,000, which like 20K in Chinese yuan. Okay, 20K. My God. The energy right now I feel is just like I am so speechless to the world, to this matrix game. Yeah. So eventually they still cut it off because, how are they going to explain it to you? Like, I mean, I opened your daughter's gut and then I found it totally healthy. Nothing's wrong with it. So it means that we're wrong. Well, then the doctor still eventually, how did she tell us? Well, you don't need this thing, it is always going to cause problems. So you better get rid of it. It's just like your wisdom teeth. By the way, I'm so glad that I didn't remove any of my wisdom teeth. Okay. It's the same exact scheme. It's the same exact scam they want you to buy in. Like these teeth, these appendix, It's there to remind you to check with yourself. Something's wrong with yourself. Like heal that, like check that, so you are healthy. So you see what your body is doing to you? It's literally helping you and reminding you something's wrong. And now you need to look into it. That's all it's doing. And the minute that you resolve that, it heals. Can you believe it? I healed my appendix in 2 months. And I don't know if everybody ever experienced this, because I mean, for as much as I know, in North America, you go into surgery room 3 days and then this is gone. So yeah, I hope my story will inspire many of you. Like trust your gut, trust your instinct, and don't buy in everything they told you, please. Like the most like dangerous thing about like humans is the innocence. Like people will believe in everything the other person is telling them. Like everything that is in front of you, the TV shows, the advertisement, people believe in everything. Okay? Don't do that. That's why, guys, like this is so real. Like people don't want you to know this. I wouldn't even mention it here. You know who doesn't want you to know this is who is going to benefit from your sickness the most. So that's why they didn't like push this into the public, right? They didn't push it out to say, oh, you can actually heal this at your home if you discover yourself earlier. So people wouldn't be aware of it. So if you don't be aware of it, and you will pretty much be led to like a later stage of this disease, which is like very hard to cure, and maybe you have to like chop one leg off or something and put a robotic leg, like a person that I talked to a couple days ago, and like what they did to him is just horrible. So save yourselves, guys, save yourselves. Like nobody knows you better than you.